Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, and welcome to Eats the Joy in Food. I am Carla, and of course, I'm a foodie, and I'm in search for all things that we love about food, and of course, especially the unique ones. And right now, we have a very special treat for all of you because we have one lady who is a celebrity chef, and of course, she is a cook, a teacher, and a writer. Let's all welcome Inquires, Celebrity Chef Reggie Aspiras.
Hi, Carla.
Hi.
Everybody. It's so nice to be with you today. And we're cooking something very special for everybody.
As far as I know, this has never been done before, and I cannot. It wowed me when I heard about it. So can we just tell them what it is?
Well, we're going to cook out of anything better to call it. We decided to call it Pina Sosyal na Paksiw na Lechon. And I think it's a very appropriate dish simply because it's the holidays. So usually there's lechon in some shape or form, either whole or whatever is left over. So I think it's a recipe that's familiar, foreign, exciting to do, yet comforting to many. So it's not like something that's so off tangent, but something that you know. But then again,
And I
something that,
know it feels like
oh,
home.
of course, each bite
Yes.
tastes and feels like home.
Oh my. And so that's just definitely comforting. Now I want to know um, the inspiration behind this dish.
Oh, in the past couple of years, my cooking has been inspired with mostly Asian influences, but more so Filipino. Um, I think in the past 10 years, I have come to love everything that is Filipino in our food. Everything, I think, in my career as a cook, I think I can say that it's a coming home, and I'm coming home to my cuisine. And in it, I bring my own self, the way I like to eat, the way I like to play, the way I want to create and recreate, and the way I like to feed and let people enjoy my food.
So I like the way you share your passion with so much fun and enthusiasm. So it's like I have been watching your videos as well on YouTube. The cooking videos. So just watch out for it, especially if you go to YouTube, guys. Those in FB and
Yeah,
YouTube
but I
right now
haven't
watching.
done a lot of videos. It's actually very hard to video yourself and cook at the same time. But it's another, like, now we're doing this all through this medium. It's different. So we try our best to really keep it as nice and as warm as possible. And food is such. I mean, people always ask me what makes a good cook. To me, it's very simple. You cook whatever dish you're cooking with all your heart and with all you've got. And the dish we're cooking today is something that's cooked with heart and cooked with all I got.
All right. Now, would you like to talk about a little bit about the ingredients that you have in there?
Oh, okay. So the ingredients that I'm using today are basically all iconic ingredients. Like I always say, in the Philippines, when you think suka, may I ask you, when you think suka, what is the first suka that comes to mind?
Of course, datong puti.
When you say toyo,
Datong puti, the silver swan.
diba? And soy sauce, and lechon sauce. Lechon sauce, what comes to mind?
Mang Tomas, hello.
So those are all the things that we're using to do. Things that you probably have all over your house, in your
Yes.
cupboards. You have it in the
Mhm.
kitchen, but things and little condiments that you've actually taken for granted, but everyone else, has. I mean, I think everyone has a bottle of suka, at least maybe datong puti or
Yes.
silver one, or just top of mind. The ingredients are all top of mind, so it's not something that's out of the ordinary. But then again, since it's the holidays, and because I think we've had a food revolution, I think our palates have evolved so drastically in the past few years that um, we have to let our basics taste like it should, but at the same time incorporate new flavors into it, which is what we try to do. Or at least I tried to do with our dish today, and I hope you enjoy that.
I'm very wowed with it. Now, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let us show you the dish Pina Sosyal na Lechon Paksiw with iconic ingredients.
Welcome to Reggie's Kitchen. It is with great pleasure that my Inquirer family and I join you today. Come as I cook a rather ordinary dish yet made extraordinary using iconic Philippine ingredients. To make our paksiw, you're going to need some oil. This is my coconut oil. 1/4 cup of that. And in that, you add in your onions. I like red onions particularly for this recipe. And you cook this for about 20 minutes slowly until it's nice and caramelized to bring out the sweetness and the flavors. There, your onions are beginning to caramelize. We're now going to add our garlic. And we cook this together another 5 to 8 minutes. Now I will add my Gatchalian lechon, 2 kilos. The reason why I use Gatchalian lechon for my paksiw is because by itself, it is very tasty. It's so well seasoned. So good tasting food begins with good ingredients. So this is a good type of lechon to cook and make paksiw into. This is 2 kilos of lechon. Then we now begin to add the rest of our ingredients. That includes my aromatic seasoning wine. This is beautiful. It makes your dishes smell so good and gives it complexity. Made from Philippine rice wine, another proudly made Philippine product. It has all sorts of aromatics. I formulated it to be a wine that suits me and the dishes that I cook. I'm making my paksiw with iconic Philippine ingredients. When you say soy sauce, of course, it is Silver Swan that comes to mind. I'm going to put 1/3 of a cup, not too much. Of course, you can adjust it according to your liking. And of course, the first thing that comes to mind when you say suka is datong puti. There, about 1/4 to 1/3 of a cup. The iconic Mang Tomas. A little bit of balsamic vinegar. About 2 tablespoons. 1/3 cup of chili honey. About 3 pieces of bay leaves. Crush that. A little thyme and rosemary. Peppercorns. Pork stock. Simmer this for at least 45 minutes to 1 hour until your lechon is falling apart over very, very low heat. So I will cover this. There you have our paksiw. It is ready. I have the right consistency. I just have to season it accordingly with salt and pepper. Of course, the best tasting paksiw is seasoned exactly as you like it. So adjust it according to your palate. Grapes, about 1/4 of a kilo. Cook that a little bit before you add everything else, maybe about a minute before you add in your balsamic vinegar, your honey, some herbs, and some salt and pepper. Some honey, balsamic vinegar, about 1 tablespoon, This is my sea salt. This is in support of the salt farmers of the north. Some rosemary. 5 minutes of simmering. Turn this off. And our grapes are done. For texture and for flavor, I'm going to fry some kale. I'm frying kale in small batches. And dry that on paper towel. Toss that lightly and gently. Finished. Now cap it with grapes. There. Just all over. Now cap it with the grapes. And finish that with your fried kale. And that was my Pina Sosyal na Paksiw na Lechon. I hope you had as much fun watching me create it as much as I enjoyed cooking it for you. Happy holidays, everyone. Stay well. Much love to all of you.
Oh my, oh my, oh my,
Yeah,
Chef
so
Reggie. What can I
think
say?
it's a festive dish. It looks happy. It's familiar. It tastes like home.
Mhm.
And there are grapes, of course. What holiday season? What holiday table would be without grapes, right? And we also
Yes, for
have,
Christmas.
you remember your mother and you say eat your greens. So we also put greens in. So it's complete.
That's being very, very innovative. I mean, what would you probably suggest to show us pairing for this? Because, just like right now, I would like to drink on something while relishing with my eyes what you cooked earlier.
You shouldn't
So what can
relish
we
it, with
pair?
your eyes, Carla. I think you should try to cook it. Yeah. So
I am.
what am I going to pair with it? I'm going to pair it with my Reggie Holiday Margarita. It's called the Reggie Margarita because this was created for me by a good friend of mine, mixologist Mike Canlas. He prepared this for me during my birthday, but I did some edits to it and I added I have recently been creating different fruit concentrates, and I'm very proud of this one. It's called the Dalamansi. It's the coming together of two of my favorite local citrus fruits, which are the dalandan and the calamansi, put together.
Wow.
And I created that, and with that, we made the holiday margarita. So let's show them how it's done.
Let's make the Reggie Holiday Margarita. The Reggie Holiday Margarita, this is inspired by the original Reggie Margarita that was created for me by Mike Canlas. Rim your glass with salt. Make your margarita, you'll need mangoes. And so that's 2 pieces of mangoes. To that, add dalamansi. It is my concoction, a combination of 2 of my favorite local citrus, dalandan and calamansi. 1 cup. For a holiday burst, add chilies. Yes, chilies works wonders for this margarita. Add some lime juice, a cup of crushed ice. Then add as much tequila as you wish. Oh, that's a lot of margarita. Because no matter how bad the year was, there's still so much to be grateful for. So garnish that with the chili. And lastly, a mint sprig. Cheers from Reggie's Kitchen.
delicious.
So that's the margarita.
It's just so quick. It's a quick
It's very
mix that you can
quick.
make, but very rich in flavor, isn't it?
Yes, there's a lot of things going on in your palate. There's spicy, there's sweet, there's tart, there's everything. And of course, I was laughing a while ago because I saw myself pouring the vodka. I put a lot of vodka, sorry. I put a lot of tequila. I wasn't stopping, so I had a good laugh watching it. I said, ooh, that's a lot of tequila. But then again, it's the holiday season, right? And I always say, no matter how bad 2020 was, I mean, there's still so much to be grateful for. And
And there's
good
still a
food,
lot of good food to share as well with everyone.
of
So
course.
don't worry. For those of you who just arrived, I'm here with Chef Reggie Aspiras, and we are right now talking about yummy food. And a while ago, she made a cooking demonstration about Pina Sosyal na lechon na Paksiw, of course with
Yeah.
iconic ingredients. And we are going to post it as well later on. Most likely Monday, tomorrow. We're gonna post it tomorrow. A separate recipe with all the ingredients also listed in it. Apart from that, for those of you who would like the recipes, do just join us at www.tinyurl.com/eatsdecember, where we can send you the promotions and all the recipes that, of course, our celebrity chefs are sharing with all of us. And in the meantime, while we are here with Chef Reggie, we also have, you also shared with us the special drink. It's Reggie's Margarita. And of course, we saw you put a lot of mixes in it. And vodka, there's tequila.
No, I
And then
put a lot of tequila in that glass. I was actually surprised when I was watching the video. I said, "Whoops, I really poured a lot." But
we'll
then
be
again, I
sharing that recipe as well.
had a Magnum glass, so that's quite fine, right?
Magnum, like
Yeah,
that. That's
Magnum
how
glass.
big.
Yes.
Yes. No excuses. It's Christmas. We have gone through so much all throughout the year. And I think it's about time for us to share the love and fun in food and cooking, and especially with the drinks. So
Yes.
I would like to know and pick your brain a bit. Before anything else, at what age did you start baking and cooking?
I started cooking when I was 6, Carla. So I've been in my kitchen all my life, it seems like. Happily,
It
though.
sounds like it. Yes.
Yeah,
And what
happy.
drove you to that passion in
I
cooking?
have no idea. I just entered the kitchen one day and I fell in love with it. My mom is a good cook, and my Lola as well was a good cook. And growing up, we had a very good cook. So, and growing up in a politician's household, which my dad was, it was always very busy and our kitchens were very busy. So I'd watch people go in and out with big calderos in the province, huge, huge, huge kawas of food. And I've always been fascinated, and that fascination hasn't stopped. And many years hence, here I am, still a cocinera, loving it and proud.
Would you remember what you first cooked?
If I remember right, I did cookies. I did cookies and cinnamon rolls. First, I did cookies and they were all burnt, and then cinnamon rolls with the help of our cook, and that turned out fine. And eventually, uh, from there, I started baking actually before I moved
Mm.
to cooking. So that's how I evolved in the kitchen. And there, so
Wow. Okay. So, would you say you can you? I find it myself personally that I can cook, but I can't really bake, and it's hard for me to bake. I
I
because
have
I like doing widow. I like
no,
cooking,
really, that's really the
mixing
truth.
things.
Yeah. So when I was younger, I was more patient. I liked decorating things. In fact, the first bridal fair ever was Pink, Henny, and myself. The first one ever. And
Really?
when I used to make cakes. And then eventually I shifted to food, and I like the fact that you can just throw things in, and it evolves from the time you cook it from nothing to something, and
Yes.
all instantly, right? And after a while your neck hurts, everything hurts when you decorate cakes, and it's tough. And I don't like baking. I still like, but I don't know. I guess as I get older, I like more freedom, not too precise. Things too precise, and baking is sad too precise.
And which is why, if possible, let's say, for example, for those watching out there, and then as well as me, if I would like to learn from you, would you have cooking classes as well?
Well, I've been trying this whole year to figure out how to teach via Zoom because, like I always say, this medium is kind of cold. And the reason why I like teaching is because I'm surrounded by people. And it's really the warmth, the banter, the sharing, the
Yes.
eating, the drinking a glass of wine with all your students and growing with them, developing relationships. That's what food to me is all about. And not having that physical contact has been quite sad for me. So moving forward, it's also difficult to video yourself, cook, explain. Like I said, I tried it already 2, 3 times, and I had my own crew doing it also. The first one that we did, all that I took shots of were my feet, and I hated it. So, so it looked pangit, di ba? Pangit siya talaga. So I decided I'm not going to do this. And I said, because if I'm going to have people watch me and part-time with me, it might as well look like it's something that's really well prepared. So I'm hoping that next year, I'll be better at it. When it's time, it's time. And I'll be teaching online when the time is right.
All right. So, but hopefully, when the pandemic is over, hopefully we can also have a visit at Chef Reggie's kitchen, actually
Sure.
cooking with you. That would be such a pleasure,
Oh,
I hope.
yes, of course. And this too shall come to pass, and I know we're gonna do that soon.
Where can they find you? So let's say if they want to check your Instagram, Facebook.
So it's I am Reggie Aspiras. That's where they can find me. I share recipes. I share my columns with them. People who love to cook. I think it has become one thing about one of my joys being with the Inquirer is that it has given me the privilege and the honor to be able to feature people who create delicious and tasty things, and to be able to highlight that and bring that to center stage, I think is such a blessing. And for that, I'll always be very grateful for being a part of the Inquirer family. And I always say this, I
Yes.
am part of the Inquirer also. So it's been a long time. I started writing for them since 2003.
Oh, wow. All right. And of course, 2002. And so that means you've had a lot of recipes, a lot of features that would
Oh, yes, yes.
entail probably.
I've been so blessed to have been able to write and discover so many things, and to discover food, to enjoy food, to partake of excellent food. I think all of that is grace.
Would there be one particular like thing that you featured, or maybe not featured, but you chanced upon and tasted that shocked you?
Well, it's too many to mention, but offhand, shocked me. Is there anything else that shocks me in the kitchen? Uh, Nothing really more that
I mean,
exciting. I think.
maybe oh yeah, that excited you. Maybe more of like in different pairings that it really worked. These pairings really worked, and then it's like chocolate and something
I don't know.
savory.
Always, people always say, this salted thing mixing sweet and savory together. It's always the way we've had our meals at home, and people had always called us strange. And even our in-laws, my brother-in-law, Babe Zoretta, would always tell me that we're strange because we eat food with cake, this adobo with mango or banana. But it's always been so in our house. So we've always liked, well, the cake and the cake and food, well, a lot of people really find that weird, but fruits and adobo, whatever, and bananas, it's something that's always been a norm in our household. So this,
Especially in the Filipino household as well.
yeah,
I
diba?
mean,
So
saba and
I think
and
the salt
everything.
and caramel thing for us, I think that's long been a part of our palate. I think there's like you have it in bibingka, di ba? You have sweet and salty with the itlog na maalat. So, you know.
So it's normal for us, right? So that's why there's nothing that really shocks us so much.
No, no,
But
no, not at all.
would you have any of your any favorite that you might want to eat every day or every other day, but something that's like, oh yeah, I'm eating that. It's served right in front of me, or I'm cooking it every
No,
day.
I'm an adobo person. I'm an adobo, sinigang, very simple fare type of person. So, and when I like something, I can eat the same thing over and over again. I like pinakbet. I can eat it all the time. I
Yes.
like adobo. I like lechon kawale. I always say anything with baboy. The pig is, for me, God's manifestation of his love. Kasi
Mm.
I love everything that's pork. So, yeah. So
So
there. So
you, yeah, so you're sharing the love as well. So, well, how do you like your adobo? Do you like it saucy, dry?
I like it in all forms. I always say, people always ask me why, let's say, uh, I always say that this thing is my favorite. It's because I can't judge one dish and say that this is my absolute favorite. I've tried and I've cooked, I've tried so many people's adobos, and I've cooked adobo in so many ways. Uh, they're all my favorites, or they're all delicious in their own right. You'll never cook your adobo like I'll cook my adobo, even with a
Yes.
recipe, Carla.
Hmm.
So it's about finding what's intrinsically good in a dish and what that person is trying to impart through their cooking that makes a dish sublime.
This reminds me of like a song. I mean, not necessarily a song, but it reminds me of a symphony of ingredients that mix together and marry it, and then suddenly,
And it's
you
different,
create.
and it's
Yeah.
different all the time. It's yours, hers, his. That adobo will evolve because you created it. So
Yeah.
it has its own DNA because of you. So that's how I'd like to think of it.
For Christmas, what are you preparing?
Oh wow! Christmas time mostly. I prepare food for other people, but Christmas time for me is whatever else is given to me at that by the time by the like Christmas Eve. I'm too tired, so it's whatever else. It's whatever's on the table, and that's usually very simple fare. Like arroz caldo. There's
Hmm.
arroz caldo. There's hamon. There's ensimada, and it's a tradition that we've tried to keep alive. Though we lost our mom last year,
I'm
whatever
sorry to hear that.
yeah, and it's sad, but we try to keep traditions alive. It's how it was during my lolas. It was how it was. My mom kept that alive, and we'll continue to try keeping it alive. Although sadly this time we're spending Christmas apart, but food will keep us together.
Will you be zooming together for Christmas and then showing your food and your Christmas Eve meals?
No, maybe not. Maybe we'll be asleep by that time. Anyway, we Zoom quite often, and then I see my siblings every so often, though not as often as we used to, given what's
I
going
hope
on.
at one time we can also interview somehow about cooking tips. I know it's generic. I
No,
mean, I mean it's so general,
so
broad, but
many. But if you ask
so
me, what the
many.
best tip is, number one, taste your food. Don't be afraid. And the most delicious
Okay.
dish that you'll ever cook is the dish that you like, created and seasoned the way you like it. Don't be don't be bound by rules. Don't be bound by all of that. Eat the way you like it. And that is delicious. And I cannot say otherwise. That's why when people ask, why don't we say that this is bad? Because we're just one palate. We may not enjoy it, but the other might. So it's not sweeping. What you find delicious, I may not find delicious. And what I find delicious, you may not always find delicious. So it's different. It's just
Right. So
different.
cook. So just make sure rule number one, taste what you cook.
Yeah, and keep tasting. Develop your flavors as you go along. Don't oversalt in the beginning. You season lightly, and towards the end is when you do your final seasoning. When whatever recipe it is, if it says 1 cup soy sauce, start off with maybe half of that and build it up. And then play with the flavors that you like. If you like pepper, add more pepper. If you like salt, add more salt. If you like it sweeter, even if people say, sorry, that was my meat in the oven. If people say it's not supposed to be sweet, but you like it sweet, who cares? Make it sweet. And that's what it is. That's what
So I'm
cooking is all
curious, what's cooking in the oven?
about. I have a slab of beef in the oven. So
Yum.
yeah.
Well, during this time, I'm sure everyone's in the kitchen. Everyone's like mostly doing preparing for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Although we do have the pandemic right now, so not everyone can be sharing a meal all at the same time. I mean, all together. So, what would your advice be for people who probably just live alone but they want to prepare something for themselves? Would they be cooking for
You know, order. This is what I always
just
say.
order?
Order, because that's my thing. I can't eat my own food, so what do? I'll order. I'll order from my friends. Everyone else's food is always better than your own food, right? I mean, as a cook, and we find all of that. We all talk amongst ourselves. The people in the business say, "What do you like to eat after you cook?" I like a burger. I like to go for takeout burger, which is the best like this. It's cooked by someone else, but it's never yours, right? So it's always greener on the other side. Always tastes better.
Actually, when we appreciate others as well, when others appreciate our cooking, I think it's also like a marriage of knowledge, and we thrive in it
Of course.
together. So for people like me who do not have who are I mean, I'm single and all, so I can just order. Your tip is to order because that is
Of
the
course.
easiest thing, and I
Why do you
totally
give yourself
agree.
a hard time? I always say, leave some things to the experts. If you don't want to tire yourself, order and enjoy the holiday season. Don't sweat. Don't sweat it out. Don't even try. But if cooking is your thing, it's your best time to shine, to share, to put flavors together. But if you're all alone and you don't feel like it, hey, do what you like to do.
You do you. Yes, exactly. So I totally agree with that one. And you know what, Chef, I am so honored to have you and to really speak to you right here. I mean, not in person, but it feels like you're right here with me. And talking to you feels as well like home, which is very comforting, just like your food.
Thank
So,
you. Thank you very
would
much.
you have any final words for our viewers and out there who would like to probably begin cooking?
Wow, just enter the kitchen and cook. There are no rules. I mean, I think the kitchen is the most sacred place because, for after all, whatever you create inside the kitchen is what people share. It's the reason why people gather at table. It's to partake of a meal. It's always a joy and a blessing to have it. As I always say, I am probably one of the luckiest people in the world because my job is to nourish. My job is to cook. My job is to bring joy. My job is to bring people together. And that's a wonderful thing. So if you haven't tried cooking, it's never too late. And guess what? You can if the dish that you wanted to do didn't come out as planned, guess what? You can do it again.
We can always try again, definitely. And where can we find your articles in the Inquirer?
And don't forget to read us. And all of us, the food columnists, are out every Thursday Inquirer and Inquirer Plus. So buy the paper, visit the Inquirer website, that's inquirer.net. And for a lot of other special features, visit us on Lifestyle Inquirer Plus, which is our new baby. So we hope to see you virtually. And please keep reading us. And know that the Inquirer family, all of us in the paper, continue to try to make food and bring you food that excites, that brings joy. And we keep trying to improve our platforms, both print and on social media, to make your palate water. So know that we try our best each and every time. And there are
Totally
more
watched it earlier.
to come. So much more exciting things to come.
We are very excited. So 2021, we have a lot of things to look forward to. And would you care to share a little bit of maybe a sneak peek of what is in store for us?
What's in store for us in 2021? Am I allowed to say which one? Maybe not. But we'll see you again in 2021.
Absolutely. And of course, you can find Chef Jessie in Inquirer.net, and of course,
Yes.
Inquirer Lifestyle Plus, which is very, very new. And
yeah, Inquirer Plus. It's very, very new, and there you'll get even more tips, more recipes, and you'll get to meet more people who love food. And go get yourself a copy of the paper, both physically, like the paper, and the Inquirer.net online versions of it. So,
and guess what? Chef Reggie and Inquirer are giving out 1 month subscription. So we're gonna send it out for those who subscribe, who register at Eat the Joy in Food URL, which is www.tinyurl.com/December.
So many new things on our online content thing coming up and coming already there, and so much more to happen in the next few months. So it just keeps getting more and more exciting.
And I know that the busiest time for you as well is Christmas, isn't it? And you're preparing for your orders. And I know that you have shared a lot of time with me as well discussing this episode. And so I'm so honored to have you. And we're looking forward to more.
Talk about food. It's wow, it's such great joy to be able to talk about what you love most, and to share that with people who are of the same tribe.
Absolutely, and that's what It's a Joy in Food is doing, because we're bringing the communities together. We're checking on all the food groups, checking on our chefs, checking on everyone, and seeing what's out there to share with everyone. So
again, next year we have so much more things planned, and you have to stay tuned. In the meantime, please be safe, be well, be at peace, eat a lot, drink more than you eat, and be happy.
all right, and that was Chef Reggie Aspiras of Inquirer. And of course, I'm Carla Cangleon signing off. And we are not going to end this time because we also have a webinar right after this. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us at Eat the Joy in Food, and Merry Christmas. Thank you, Chef. Thank you so much.
Love to all of you. Bye-bye.